So my head's been all over the place, and I decided to read this book. And man, am I glad I made that decision because this book it's it's not just about strategy. It's not just about fighting. It's about life and how to live it. And the Book of Five Rings, if you've never heard of it, is a book that was written by probably the greatest samurai who ever lived, Miyamoto Musashi. And I think there's a story of him getting attacked by like 60 men and he killed them all. Like it's pretty interesting. You should look it up. But this is a guy who not only was a great warrior, but who was also a great man who loved philosophy, who loved poetry, who loved writing. And the last like 15 or 16 years of his life, I'm pretty sure he went to live in a cave and just write poems. And it's like that guy, he probably knew something about life. He probably knew how to live. He probably knew some secrets somewhere because how else can you do such extraordinary things without having some sort of insight that we don't have? So this book, it's a breakdown into different types of martial arts and different strategies and how certain people approach certain situations with a favor to one tool or a favor to one strategy, and because of that rigidity it hinders them and they're an easy opponent to take on. And if that isn't a lesson to life, then I don't know what is. Like, a lot of us will rely on one thing. A lot of us will, we all seen that guy that, ugly, no social skills, but just has a shit ton of money, and he basically just pays people to hang around him. And it's the inverse. Like, there's the people that, they're the spiritual people and they know everything about the world, but they're literally like begging for coins on the side of the road. Like, you need to have a balance. You can't go all into one thing. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, if all your money's in your 401k and you want to retire and the stock market dips 50%, you can't retire. And it's like we need to start understanding that there is so much knowledge to be gained in antiquity. Like, this book, I think, was written in the 16th century, and I think it's like 50 pages, and literally every single word what I was reading last night resonated with me. Every single sentence had meaning. Every single sentence I had to stop and I had to ponder and I had to say, like, what is he saying here? What can I take from this? Like, aside from the martial arts aspect, aside from the strategy I can learn for fighting, like, what can I learn from this? And it's truly a masterclass in strategy. And let's say, like, you read this book from a perspective of a fighter, like, you will gain some knowledge because he's saying, like, okay, well, when you're in unfamiliar circumstances, like, make sure your opponent doesn't know that, there's a wall behind him or there's a ledge behind him that you can push him off of, and like keep pressing him and keep forcing him into this corner and force him into this disadvantage. And because of that, like, you're going to have the upper hand. Or when you're equal in skill set with somebody, like, you need to change strategy. When you're equal with this move and this person has the equal defense, like, you need to change it up. You can't do the same move more than 2 times and expect anything to happen. Like, if you try the same move 3 times against me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you because I know what's happening. So, like, it's all about this strategy, but you can also apply these things to life. Like, let's say, you're trying to get a job. You keep going into the same interview. Not the same interview. You keep going to interviews and saying the same things. Like, eventually you have to change it up. Like, if it doesn't work 2 times, if it doesn't work the third time, like, you probably have to change things up. Like, if you're really good on paper, if your resume is really good on paper, but you can't interview for shit, you're never going to get a job. That's just how it is. Like, you could literally be the best programmer in the world. If you can't speak to somebody, if you can't look them in the eye, if you can't shake their hand in the interview, you're probably not going to get the job. I don't care if you're the next Zuckerberg. I don't care if you're the next whatever great coder you can name off the top of your head. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, if you're only into that skill set and you don't have any of the personal skills, it's going to be so hard. And that's why I think this book is tremendous. That's why I think this book has so much knowledge to be gained in it. And it's such a quick read. It'll probably take you like less than an hour. And yeah, this is something I feel like I'm going to continue to revisit and continue to go back to year after year after year. So I'll leave a link in the description to this book. I can't suggest it more. And yeah, this is a must read for anybody. It's so short. There's no reason not to. So go ahead and click that link in the description. I'll catch you in the next one.